Welcome, everybody. Today we're going to be talking to Daath from Dose Juice. He has been inside the Facebook Ads MBA program. He's graduated. He's doing a lot of stuff. He's VP of marketing there and has quite the history. So we're going to get into what he's doing right now. Going to get into the MBA program, what it was like before he joined, how his experience was, and what it's like now. And also let him, kind of give some takeaways and introduce himself. And to be fair, I've had nothing but the most charming time talking to this guy. I love his laugh, and I think he's a really, really smart dude. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, here is Daath. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, doing great. Great. Happy to be here.
I'm so glad, man. So where in Canada are you again? I keep forgetting. Are you in the French side or not French side?
Yeah, French side, so Montreal, Canada. Yeah.
I mean, I can hear it in the voice, man.
Yeah, I know. A lot of big accent.
Yeah. So first off, just tell me a little bit about tell me a little bit about what you're doing. What products, what business are you working on, all of that fun stuff.
Yeah, so I've been doing like Facebook ads since I think 2015, just a little bit at first, and then more and more. I was like a consultant, so I had more and more customers in multiple industry, but it was really in like e-commerce. And then with one of my customers, it went really well, so I became like a full-time employee, a director of marketing, and then VP, and that's Dose Juice, like you said. And I could say like at the beginning, Facebook ad was like a marketing. Facebook ad, digital marketing was easier. I could say like things were going well, but then I hit a wall, let's say like 2021, 2020, just to scale to another level, because I was a certain level, let's say like 30K spend per month. And I'm not saying it's a small level, but you know what I mean? There's like other level to obtain. And then I hit a wall and I needed more guidance. And what I was looking for, you're in like Facebook groups, like I won't name any name, but certain Facebook group about Facebook ads or YouTube channel, and then you see so many stuff everywhere. It's like about like you should do this, you should do that, you should do this, and then you just get lost in all those advices. And that was like the situation I was in. So I could not scale more. I could not control my CPA. Nothing was going like I wanted to. So that's why like I stumbled upon your content and really then joined the program.
Yeah, I mean I feel like that's so much what people go through, right? Like, and I love how long you've been in it. You said what, 2015, 2016
Yeah.
you got started?
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
so now you're back in this spot where you've been around the horn when it was easy, and then you climbed the ladder, and then it got harder and harder and harder.
Yeah.
Like, what right now are you like really excited about, or what are some of the things that like used to be a problem that you're just really able to handle? Like, because I remember we talked about a lot of stuff throughout the program, but where are you now having like the utmost confidence for what the next 6, 9, 12 months looks like?
I feel like I have the confidence right now to like just like any challenge that I'm gonna encounter in marketing. I have the confidence that I can overcome it. So I don't have like it's not like I have this secret key that I'm just gonna open every door and then my CAC is always gonna be low and then I'm gonna make millions. It's more that you have the confidence that you can go through any like issues because you have a way of thinking now that's better, more disciplined, more structure. And that's like really the thing that I think I've learned from like the program. Because yes, I was a VP of marketing, a director of marketing, but there's this like reflex, like when everything's not going well, you just start doing, oh, we're gonna try this, we're gonna try that, we're gonna try this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna, and then just become like crazy stuff. It doesn't make any sense. You don't even know what's working or what's having a positive impact or not. And I could say that now it's like I'm more relaxed, more calm when I have challenges, and I'm not like just connecting to my Facebook ad dashboard every day and just being like, oh, what should I do today? What tactics should I try that I saw on like this Facebook group, but by shared by this guy or whatever,
Yeah, no, I got you. I think that confidence and that coming from like panic and confusion, I think is a really good place. So, that is always a really I think a lot of people share in that spot, right? Like that's
Mhm.
something that a lot of people can really, relate to. So like getting into the MBA program, what was it like? Like was that lack of confidence, that panic, that confusion, that lack of direction, sort of the everyday? Like what was it like before you joined the program? What was your everyday? Like what was the vibe for you in that before we got to see each other all the time?
Yeah, I would say first of all, when I was working like as a consultant, I used to do like Facebook ads and email marketing. So I touch like both channels. So I know how to manage them, and then SMS and like Google Ads. No, but like I have an overall view of the marketing and just deploying it and executing it. And like before, it was more like, okay, let's try this tactics on Facebook. This is working well. Wow, it's awesome. But then after 2 weeks, it doesn't work well. It's going down. Is it because it's like, is it the season? Is it the audience? Is it the creatives? Is it the offer? Or you have like 12 offer at the same time? You don't know which one is going down. You know what I mean? It's always
Yeah,
like it's just like on a treadmill, and it's this, and every like 2 3 weeks it's this, and then you just go in a Facebook ad group and try to find maybe other people that are saying my Facebook ads this week are not going well, and then you're like me too, and then you think it's like the same for everybody, and usually you think that Facebook is like not against you, but not playing fair with you. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So that was like the feeling a lot of times. Like you connect your Facebook ad, and as soon as you see like that you don't have the CPA that you want, you get this stress, you're like, ah, damn it, now I need to redo everything. Or like,
yeah. That like
yeah,
lack of direction and
yeah,
confusion. I mean, I don't know if you've seen this, but I hear this all the time from folks where they're in these Facebook groups, these like, or on Facebook, or like these premium Slack channels, or all these
yeah,
like pay to play communities, and half the time it's like, well, it's not working for me. Oh, it's not working for me either, and it's just like, cool. So we're all here paying extra to feel good about not winning. Like, is that doesn't to me like I don't want to pay extra money for everybody else. Like, I don't need to pay a fee for misery to love company. I
yeah,
don't want to surround myself with everybody else struggling, right? Like,
yeah,
I'll pay to be around a room full of people that have a solution to my problem.
yeah,
But I mean, I don't know if that's what you're seeing in these spots, but were you
exactly.
able to realistically find scalable, evergreen solutions that give you confidence that you move forward within those spaces? Or is it more just like somebody else bragging about something that may or may not be legit, and oh, they're also hurting too? And that's not very helpful.
Exactly. And I feel like I would also add that there's like before the program and everything, it was like there was this FOMO, this fear of missing out. So even if your Facebook ad account was working good, you had this fear. You see like someone posting this new tactic that's like, I don't know what's the name, the blah blah blah, and then you're like, should I try it? Maybe I'm missing on something, you know what I mean? And then you try it, and then maybe it doesn't work, and then your ad account goes down, and then it's like the FOMO was pretty bad, and now it's way much better because now I've seen myself like just like seeing like on Twitter stuff shared, and I'm just like, whatever, man. Like I'm not gonna even lose time reading it or trying it. Just there's no structure in that. I
Yeah,
don't
I
even
love that.
understand.
Yeah, all of the this is what's working for me this week. I'm like, great, cool, good. I'm glad. I'm glad you got to win, but it's not really worth the
Yeah,
time to chase all of these bright ideas because nobody ever tells you about the 29 losses they have to pay for that one win out of
no.
context. So let me ask you this: like, when you joined the program, what was that like? Like, what had happened? Like, what was your experience in the Facebook Ads MBA program? Because I remember having a lot of conversations with you and got to see this great growth and even the types of conversations that we had. And I
Mhm.
think you're a great success story of what that looks like. And I'd love for you to be able to share that with some people.
I think at first, like the most important stuff is that I bought a lot of course. I didn't say that, but before yours, I bought, I don't know how much thousand of dollars I spent on courses, but I spent a lot. So I've been through a lot of courses, and one of the thing is like it's the one because we have one-on-one in the program. So for people who doesn't know, and this is just this is game changer, and the fact also that like you join a program that's like, let's say it's a higher end program, it's premium, it's like, you know what I mean, I don't want to say it's like so expensive, but it's like, you know what I mean. So you have quality people in it, and that makes like a huge difference. Instead of having like, I don't know, 500 people just answering and asking question, and having like people at the level that's like beginner, like how do I publish my ads, and then having other people at another level. You just have like people that are serious, not here to brag, just here to learn. And then we have one-on-one with you, and then we have also like all the marketing materials, not marketing, but I mean course materials. So just this mix is like, it's perfect, because you apply some of the course, and then you have a one-on-one with you, and then you're like, okay, did I interpret it that correctly or not? And like when you're doing a course without one, that's the issue, because sometimes you can interpret some stuff in the wrong way, and then you'll be like, it doesn't work, doesn't make sense, or you will lose confidence pretty fast in the structure or the process, because you're alone, and you're like 2 days, after like trying it, you're like, it's not working, I need to stop it right now, you know what I mean? So it makes a lot of difference. I'm like I understood more about like this, like I didn't get how much you get knowledge from one-on-one and paying people that are at another level, but now I get it. Like it's like, okay, it makes a huge difference.
And I love how you said that, like being alone. Like I remember being a media buyer and the only person in the room or in the company that had any clue what I was doing. And like you can't talk to other people about stuff because you can't explain everything. And I love that, because so many people that I talk to, I don't even think they realize that not being alone is an option. Like they don't realize, oh, you can be in a fellowship with plenty of other people. And I love that. And you're saying for you, like that was one of the biggest values of like, you don't have to do this by yourself. And even with like other courses, like when you buy some pre-recorded course from somebody that won't answer your DMs on Twitter, that may or may not even do the work, like how are you going to get any support? And if you can't get support, what's the value of even like investing? Because very rarely is anybody going to walk you through step by step and give you their time to make that
exactly
effective.
And even just want to add this, even worse is that sometimes it's like a premium course, but the person giving you support is like a support person that doesn't even do the Facebook ads or marketing. So you're gonna ask them questions, but they're gonna give you like, you know, like simple answer that doesn't make sense, doesn't understand your context, and this is the worst, because it's like taking advices from like account manager of your CRM or account manager of your SMS software. Their advice usually are not really good because they don't do it. They're just there to sell you more.
Like they're there to make sure that you feel good about something, and that, oh, there's somebody to call. But then it's like, can you help me out with this problem? Well, I don't understand. Like they're reading off the list of whatever's on some sheet to give you some like out of context bit, and like I think that is such. I know that I have felt cheated in those situations. I have felt taken advantage of. And I don't know about you, but like, because I've invested in things too. And like, when I get that experience, one, it crushes my confidence, because now I have lack of confidence in my decision making even to get better. And then I have to see like, well, how far down the road am I in this thing that now I'm not getting any support, and now I'm not getting any help, and I don't understand it. So do I let the whole thing go? Do I ignore all of it? Do I adopt what I do understand? And like so many times, like that lack of support and that lack of contextual understanding is so painful. And you know, something that you've mentioned and a lot of other folks have mentioned is the value, not only the one-on-ones, but also like the community, right? The other folks inside of the program. And you touched on that with all the other high-level folks. And I'd love to know a bit more about your thoughts on that, with being able to have that like ongoing evergreen resource. Like you finished the program a while ago, and you're still getting, you know, updated curriculum and lessons and new people to talk to on a pretty daily basis.
Yeah, no, it is awesome to have those people, because like you can see their problems, you can see their challenges, you can have like sometimes the same challenges, and even if you don't participate a lot in the conversation, you'll see like their interview, you'll see like their question, you'll see the answers, and all of this helps you to like apply better or like be better at your own job or marketing or whatever you're doing in marketing. You get better at it because like and everybody comes from a different background. So some of them are like in agencies. I'm not from an agency. I'm like in the own DTC brand. So like I don't have the same perspective. So one of the guys like a super good copywriter. So so it helps a lot because you see different things. And yeah, so no, it's awesome. Love it.
Yeah, that community I think is just so big, and you mentioned it before too, but just like instead of there being some Slack group with 500 people talking about God knows what, it's a couple dozen elite folks from around the world that even if it doesn't pertain to you, you get to learn from, and that ongoing value is phenomenal. It's like you're not paying a monthly fee to be a part of this group anymore. Like you're in, like you're part of the family forever at this point, and like that's a beautiful thing. I'm outside of the community and the one-on-ones. I'm just really curious, like in the process and the curriculum and the learning and everything else. Like if you had to give a takeaway of just like what was the most important stuff that you got out of the program, I really love to know like this is
there's
the
a lot
one
of
or
things.
two things. Or if it's more than that, what was it, man? I'm super curious.
Yeah. First of all, I would say like one of the things that I learned is like what got you there won't get you there, like where you want to go. I know a lot of people, we hear this expression a lot, but I think with the program you really understood it because like you get to 1 million of annual revenue in e-commerce by doing a lot of like but then when I joined the program I understood like okay, you need to structure, you need to have maybe one offer, two offer max at your level, and then just try to scale those offers and just focus on one or two things nonstop and scale them. Because if you do 10,000 things, you won't know what's working, what's not working. And this is something that a lot of DTC brands, when they're small, like do. Like you try to do like, oh my God, we don't have sale. Okay, let's try a new offer. Let's try this. So this is something I learned from this program. And I've seen it, and also through like our calls and what you show me, I've seen it in action through your stuff because you still do like a lot of Facebook ads on your own. So I see it too. I see it working for you for real. You know what I mean? So it makes a lot of difference. I would say the Scrum Doc is great. Like the Scrum Doc is a must. Is a must. Like I know people don't know what I'm talking about. It's like a daily reports like of every of your channel. I used to do it a little bit, but now with like how you show it, you really do it and you really see like what's going on, what's not working, what's working. And also you can, it's like stop trusting all the dashboard of every ad platform or every CRM because they're all taking credits for each other and you don't really know what's working or not working. But the Scrum Doc, you can see that,
Yeah.
And you don't need like a complicated attribution software to do it. So that's the crazy stuff about it. And I'm way less like, I don't even talk about iOS 14. Never. I don't even talk about it now. No, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love that. And you're talking about the Scrum Doc and also like the ecosystem ROAS of taking that Scrum Doc across your entire platform.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, it's game changer. It really helps to like, and you can rapidly with that. Like one of the things that people need to understand if you work in a DTC, that's when it's going to grow, people from other departments going to start working with you a lot, like finance, and finance is really important. So the Scrum Doc and daily reporting and just tracking your stuff really well and being like having a simplified marketing system, just 1-2 offers, going to help you to communicate with other departments. And you won't look like sometimes like what marketing people don't understand is like if you cannot communicate your number properly to finance, they're not going to understand what you're talking about and they don't care. I think you said it 1,000 times. The finance team doesn't care about your return on ad spend.
Yeah, nobody does. The only person that cares about ROAS is the marketer.
Exactly.
It's a nonsense number. It doesn't actually mean anything.
Exactly. So if you're going down, if the company is not going well, but you're like, I have a great return on ad spend on Facebook, they don't care. It's
Yeah.
like it's not related. It's not
And
what matters.
I want to interrupt for a second. This is the
Yes.
vice president of marketing for a multi-million-dollar Canadian business with retail and online sales, and you're saying ROAS doesn't mean anything, especially when, like, I just want to drive that home for those that want to get to, get from $300 a day to the over 7-figure. We'll be polite. You don't need to get all your numbers out there in the world, but like what that looks like is you can't rely on return on ad spend because it doesn't mean anything. And even more, like, the better your return on ad spend, like, that's actually kind of bad for your business. And I don't think a lot of people understand that.
No, and you can't cheat your number. You can't trick the numbers. You talk a lot about remarketing, like in terms of like you don't need it probably at first. And that is true. I feel a lot of like media buyer, including me before, we like to keep our remarketing campaign because it looks good. And when you connect to the dashboard, you have this great remarketing campaign that has a great number, a great return on ad spend. You're like, wow, it's great. I wish everything could be like this in my ad dashboard. But like, we don't care about it. Doesn't help the bottom line of the business. Like it could be this. You could have one campaign, everything's going to be not the same in terms of like return on ad spend, but the same final result. What's your CAC? What's your LTV? How many new customers did you acquire? Like that's what matters. Anyways, yeah. So I don't know what was the question, but yeah.
I just say the same thing. I'm not quite sure what the question was, but that's the answer. I love it. I love it. And so we got into measurement and some other stuff. Is outside of that, if you had to give sort of a takeaway of some of the other things of value or some of the misconceptions you might have, or just like when you walked away from this, what was your overall conception of what you really got out of the program outside of just being able to measure better? Like, what has it really done for you?
What's the word lever? En français, you said levier, but I think it's lever. It's like it helps you to understand like to get great result for your marketing, for the business. It's not just about Facebook ad. Yes, there's a creative part that's really important, but it's also what's your offer, how is it structured, like and in one of your interview, I think it's an interview or one of video call, you said like sometimes business they're like, oh my god, our Facebook ads is not working anymore, so now let's go to another channel, maybe it's TikTok ads, or even harder, let's go to another distribution channel, so retail or whatever you want to do, affiliate, whatever. But sometimes it's just changing the offer on Facebook ad, and then everything's going to perform way better. You know what I mean? And this is something that I got, like I didn't get it as much. I know it's obvious. Some people maybe is listening to the offer. Of course, you need to change it, but it's not as obvious when you're in the action sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and when you're running that business and you've got so many SKUs and you're in, corner stores, right? Like when you're in like the market you have to pick, like, I've got 40 things I can promote. What am I actually going to do? Like what you're actually promoting on Facebook a lot of times has nothing to do with what the rest of the business runs on. Those don't have to have any correlation. You're just, how you can spend more money to acquire customers is a very different game than keeping cash flow in for the rest of your business and what returning customers want to buy. Like, I mean, I think when we started together, you had like 4 or 5, maybe 6 different sale offers. One was like a certain aggressive discounts, different products, all sorts of things all over the place. And we found that ultimately, like, we had a very low level of investment in any one place. And the only way we were able to make those things work was by discounting more or by, taking more risks and stuff. And now, and I'd really like to get into a question of what it's like now, but like, how does that feel different today, having a good idea with the Scrum Doc to let you understand, the value of the investment you're making by marketing offer or by channel and the ecosystem ROAS, and understanding the creative testing version of how we do things so you can target there, and ultimately mapping your marketing efforts to the finance department, the overall growth of the business, and where before you were in this place of panic and confusion and not really understanding stuff and trying to find company in your misery and all of these Facebook groups and everything else, whereas now you're in a much different place. I guess what I'm really wondering and what I'd love to hear from you is just like, ultimately, what is it like now for you after going through the program and having a much better clarity on the day to day? What is the business looking like? What are your days today options looking like? What is the future looking like for you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say like first of all, my day to day is way less like intense or not intense, but way less on Facebook ads, like losing time touching like changing stuff and be like, oh my god, like what's going on? I should change this. Should I look alike audience 1%? Is it better to look alike add to cart or look alike purchase or look alike view content? All those stuff like you can lose so many times on it, but it doesn't change anything. So I don't do that anymore. I'm way more focused on like, okay, I used to like as a VP, a director, you have to do this like do the budget for the whole year and like here's our CAC and here how many new customers we're gonna acquire and all those stuff. But then it was more like the roadmap of action and strategies to get there. That was like hard sometimes to put on paper because everything's changed so fast because I was like, oh, this is not working, we should do this, or this is not working, we should do that. And you get a lot of advices from different people who just don't even know really your business or what you're doing when you try to test their advice and then it just doesn't work. But now it's like, here's a roadmap, here's the situation, and let's just say we're not acquiring enough customers at the CAC that we want. Maybe what we should do is like try to find a low ticket offer. What do we need for a low ticket offer? We need this. So we're gonna do this for the next 3 months, 2 months. We're gonna test a real good low ticket offer, find one, and then track the LTV of those people. Is it working? Is it not working? You know what I mean? It's like so that's why I told you many times it's way more than Facebook ads, and the program is way more than that. And to perform well on Facebook ads, you need way more than just being good at like selecting an audience and being like, oh, here's the ad I'm gonna run for you, and here's the click-through rate. It's awesome. You know what I mean? So that's like the reporting, the roadmap, like what we should do in the next few months, the offer, and then just like the Facebook ads in itself, like more go broad, keep it simple, touch more like test creatives, and just really lean in on what Facebook tells you to do. By that I mean like keep it simple and like dynamic creatives, all those things that Facebook gives you as tools because Facebook wants you to use them because it says it's much better. You know what I mean? And then of course you like try dynamic creative one time and you're like, it's not working for me, but it's like what works on average. Like you see the average on multiple months and then you will know what works. Just don't say something doesn't work because you try it one time and after 1 hour it didn't give you a great CAC. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you mean. And I think what's interesting to me about that stuff is like, we know these tools exist and you put that out there. Like we know these tools exist and Facebook built them so that we can use this system better.
Mm-hmm.
And we also know that what we're currently doing isn't working. So the idea of not using the tool designed to solve the problem is just wild to me. And more and more I think about this stuff too a lot lately. I feel like because folks aren't exposed to having to talk to the finance department, because folks aren't looking at the growth of a business,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like more and more the biggest gap is what people define success as. They're like, oh, I'm doing well. But the way that you define success might not be legitimate or might not be good enough or might, like for me, success shouldn't be easy.
No.
Right? Like if you can get it done really, really simply, really, really easy, it doesn't take a lot of work. Why aren't you trying to be better? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, you can do more. That's what you mean.
Like, I've got a $5,000 budget. I got a $50,000 budget. I got a $1 million budget. I'm just spending it. It's like, great. But why isn't it 10,000? Why isn't it 100? Like, what is broken in the business? If you're doing that well, why isn't your budget bigger? If you're
Yeah.
doing that well, why are you still like, what else can you do in your day-to-day operation so that you can make it so that you've got more opportunity to be successful?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a huge gap. I haven't quite figured out how to phrase it yet, but I think that, when you were talking about people and the ROAS of 3 or 5 or whatever, and they're really happy with it. Like once you start to actually get into running a business, you realize that doesn't mean anything. So you have to redefine what good enough is. You have to redefine what success is. And I love your insight in that and taking a look at it, because I think one of the biggest downsides is people are saying, well, what I'm currently doing is working for me. And really what you're currently doing is making your myopic view look good. But there's a reason why, if you're a media buyer, you're on the 10th client of the year. If you're a business, there's a reason why you're stuck at this level, right? There's a reason why your quality and scope of problem isn't growing. And I think that there's a big difference. And you and I happen to be cut from a similar cloth in here, I think, where like good enough is great, but you're entrepreneurial, you're motivated to try to continue to grow. You're not trying to like punch a clock, be happy, and then check out, right? No. You've got that sense of, I want to do better.
Yeah, and
I think that's a thing.
Yeah, and like if you have, I mean, like when you have investor and a board and a VP of finance and a CEO and COO, and it's like you need to do better. You know what I mean? It's like it's a startup, they got investment, so they're burning money. You need to do better. Even if you're like, look at my great return on ad spend, they don't care. It's like it doesn't mean anything. It's like you're not explaining anything. And you don't have a plan. So like if you don't have a plan, like we said, like a roadmap, a strategy, people won't trust you. And also one of the interesting thing, I think I wasn't like too much like that, but with the program, I'm like even less like that, like zero. It's like you see a lot of tactics online. Oh, upsells, oh this, that, low ticket, high ticket, you should do this, you should. But it's all tools, but you don't know when to use them and plug them in your system. So you just do like you plug them all the time. You do a lot of things, but you don't really understand their impact. So you don't see what's working, not working. You don't see what you should scale or not scale, So it's like, and after the program, you like, because you're tracking, because you have a roadmap, because like you understand more Facebook and marketing and everything, you understand that like, okay, the reason why I want to upsell is because if I put my upsell, of course, my AOV is going to go higher, but this is going to give me more spend to acquire new customers. You know what I mean? So that's why I need to really track it properly and see, does the upsell that I put on really give me a better AOV or not? I'm just putting this and then just doing other things and just don't care about it. Because a lot of people, I'm telling you, they add upsell, they add like fear of missing out, like plug-in on their Shopify and a lot of stuff, but they don't know what it is doing. They have no idea,
Yeah, there's that strategy around using the tool to deliver a trackable and high confidence improvement on a business objective. And that being the reason that you are making a certain investment. I feel like that level of thinking is so absent from the vast majority of conversation that like people just like they're pointing to the outcome of things as like the reason that you should do stuff, but the outcome is very little, like it's just so disconnected. And I love what you're talking about there, and that's getting into we're talking about the testing roadmap and strategic and tactical testing and understanding what that stuff looks like, which ultimately is tremendously helpful because, when we were talking about like where it started with that place of panic or confusion or lack of confidence in moving forward, like you don't care about the day-to-day anymore. Like, we had a bad day. Okay. Yeah. How's this month? Let's ask real questions that actually matter, right? And we can use the Scrum Doc and ecosystem ROAS to actually look at the data points that are going to help us make, a positive change in our business objectives. Otherwise, it's a waste of everybody's time. And it doesn't really matter. It's just noise, right? But that noise can be so distracting, I think. And that's, I think, a huge pain point that I see so many folks suffer through is just that distraction and the inability to work through it. And I love the various ways that you put together the tools to make that work. I think what I'd love to know is, what's your biggest takeaway from, having come into the program and what it was like and your experience to where you're at now? And if you had to tell anybody anything about it in your experience, what would that be?
Like, what's the expression? It's like, sometimes when you know a little about something, it hurts you more than just not knowing anything about it. I don't know if you understand what I mean. It's like, and with the program, I really like got more about like the basic structure. I'm not talking about consumer psychology and all those stuff, and like more the basic structure of like how you should think and strategize if you want to really grow a DTC brand. Like, what's the thinking behind it, and what's the action you should take, like the principle, you know what I mean? And before, it's like, but there's some stuff that you don't know, and because you don't know them, you don't see them, but they're like costing you a lot, but you just don't see it because you don't know. Like running like 20 offers, like doing a site-wide discount nonstop because this is working, being stressed because you see your CAC going up, and maybe it's just like, okay, it's like maybe it's time to just test another offer, just one new offer, and then just kill all the rest if the new one is like working. You know what I mean? It's like, because now I have the principle way more. So right now I'm working with because I'm a VP at Those Juice, but also working at not working, but like doing consulting for another brand that I really like. And we're hitting like a rough period because it's June, July, it's going a little bit slow, maybe recession. And I'm not stressed. I'm just like, we need to find a better offer that's going to convince more people to try our product, because right now people are stressed. The consumer is stressed, and it's like, should I really buy this like shampoo bar at that price? It's really expensive, so what can I do to convince you to do it anyways? And before I was more like, oh, maybe it's like the new lookalike from Shopify that I should try, It's like, that's the biggest takeaway, I think.
I love that. Like the fact of, let me work on my business to improve my business outcomes instead of trying to find another shortcut to magnify the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
The amount of people that I still see where they're like, well, the lookalike audience is bringing me my best business result. I'm like, that's not actually how you think. Like, those are not, like, that's not how things work, right? No. Like, that's the color of your car isn't have anything to do with the gas mileage, right? Like, those things aren't, like, maybe it's a red car, so it gets worse gas mileage. It's probably because you have like a Corvette, not a, whatever. Those things aren't correlated, right? Like, no audience is going to improve LTV. No bidding model is going to reduce the CAC or like the COGS. Like, not scale. Like, that's just not how the system works. You can't improve cash flow with a retargeting audience, like, at scale. That's just not how, like, the customer journeys, business doesn't work like that. And I love that, like, when I asked you, like, what your biggest takeaway was, it was like how to understand that and to take action on that in a way with like confidence and planning. And that for me is a great thing, because that's what I want people to take away from. I want you to be able to, I think you said, how to grow a D2C brand. And that's what we're trying to do, right? It's not. And
just want to add, and be like a real marketing lead. Like,
you're not somebody pushing buttons in Facebook. You're the director of marketing because you understand how it all goes. Or VP.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So let me leave you with this, man. Like, I'd love to leave you with just a final word here, and just like whatever you'd like to say about it, and about the program, about what you think like the future is going to look like, and just like where you're at now with everything. Because I'm stoked on the success you've had, and the conversations that we had versus the interview we had, because we had a couple of conversations about before you joined the program.
Yeah.
It's night and day, man. Like, it is night and day. Like, I love that. So I love for you to just, be able to express just anything that you want to say that maybe you haven't had a chance to, or anything else. And I'll leave the hand it over the mic over to you.
Well, what I want to say first is like it's really like before joining the program, like I said, it's like you see all those tweets and like those like Facebook posts and like all those stuff that's like just triggers you and like make you feel fear of missing out, FOMO. Like, and it's really important. Like everything that you see is not contextualized and you don't know what's going on in the business behind it, like the DTC business, the owner saying that, or the VP of marketing or the director of marketing saying those stuff. Like it's not contextualized. So you need like to have really good to be able to filter to that. And I see a lot of those tweets that I think doesn't make sense if they're not contextualized, but people are like starting to argue because of like, oh, Facebook ad this, look like this, and like you need principles just to get through this and just to ignore this. And this is something that the programs brings you. And I think it's really important. And like if you have the budget to like learn and pay for that program, you should 100% do it. I mean 200% do it, because I don't, even if like where I'm working I decide to quit, the stuff that I learned is going to be useful for any other DDC business. Even like not just DDC business, I use it also. We're like selling on Costco.ca, and the Scrum Doc is useful for Costco.ca because I download everything and I see daily what's happening when I do email marketing on Costco sides. And it's like it's general principle that anybody in marketing that's leading and managing a team should know about. I don't know for the agency side. I'm not an agency. I didn't ever work in an agency, but I think it still makes sense also for a media buyer. But yeah, you need just like I did a lot of course, and I didn't refer anybody to any course about Facebook ad. But this one, anytime I have a call with someone's like, "Oh, my Facebook ad is this," I'm like, just go there, try that course. It's not a course; it's a program. It's a mastermind. It's way more than a course. A course is not the right word. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
we got like 10 courses in there, plus a community, plus like one-on-one sessions and mastermind. It's like a little bit of all of the things that other people tell you is the secret you need, but it's actually those things put together as a complete package with lifetime access.
Exactly. 100%.
Which,
yeah.
I mean, hey, look, it's what's working for you, man. And I really love that. And I'm just curious. Last thing is just how are things going for you right now? Like, how do you feel about the rest of the year? Like, what is 2022 moving into 2023 for you?
I'll say I'm super confident. Like I have like every other DC, my challenges. Like CAC is this is rising, the LTV maybe it's going down. We need to change stuff, but I'm confident that I have the tools to get through that. You know what I mean? And now we're testing a new offer. It's working really well on the acquisition side. I would say like it seems promising. We will see. But I have the tools right now. So I'm like, even if this doesn't work, we're going to find another one. We're going to test it and we're going to just scale it. Scale it. Sorry. So I see the future. I think like the future of DDC is way better than what people are trying to say online. A lot of people are like, this is the end. It's costing way too much. And then I see a lot of tweets about like TikTok ads is what Facebook ad was in 2016. But I'm like, dude, I see people on Facebook ads scaling like crazy. A great pack and everything's going well. So it's like it's Facebook ad is still really good. I'm not saying TikTok is not, but I'm saying don't listen to the hype. Just check your numbers, test, and see what's going on and see what really works or not. So I'm sure it's gonna go well. Like and with all the knowledge that I got from the mastermind, the course mastermind program, I'm like, I feel like I can charge 10,000 times more now for consulting. You know what I mean? It's like,
you should.
It's awesome.
You deserve it. No matter what you're charging, you're going to over deliver and undercharge. Because the honest truth is, you and anybody else that comes to the program, if you really own it, like conversations with graduates of the MBA program can be a 7-figure difference in the change of a business, in the direction of a business. Like, legitimately working with somebody like you could mean the difference between a $1 million and a $10 million business. And you're never going to be able to charge the $4 million you probably deserve for that phone call. But no matter what, you're always going to be in demand. You're always going to be able to fill your calendar. And it's one of those things. It's like, you should charge more. I 100% think that you should. By the way, if you're working with Daath right now and you haven't, you know, that's actually brings me to one last point. How can people actually get in touch with you so that you can do consulting before you start charging more? In case they watch it, like, you know, get you on the way up before you're already there.
Yeah, the best place is Twitter. Daath.b, DAATH.b. It's the best place to reach me. I'm always on Twitter, and I love to participate in the DDC community or just read everything about it. Yeah.
Well, I love it, man. Well, I appreciate your time. I know that you're a busy guy. Hopefully not as busy as you used to be, but still your time is valuable. We just talked about how you're being undercharged as it is. So all that being said, I just want to say thank you a lot. I really appreciate it. I always said that you're a really smart guy, and I really enjoyed our conversations. And it was a lot of fun to work with you, especially because you had some really interesting types of problems to solve, right? Like a wide variety of SKUs in retail, working on a lot of this stuff. And also, you got a great accent and one of the best laughs. You and Jacques have the best two laughs of the entire program. I don't know if you saw Jacques' like video about asking you about something inside of Facebook, and he did a Loom video inside the community, and then he replied back to himself like 10 minutes later. He's like, I actually figured out the answer. Sorry, guys. And it was great.
Thank you for everything too. Love it.
Yeah, well, I'll let you go, man. Once again, thank you so much, and best of luck out there, and I'll see you inside the program sooner than later, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks.
See you, buddy. Bye.